Well, welcome back everybody to the Key Training Center Telethon segment where we're interviewing some of the parents of some of our consumers here at Key Training Center. And right now I want to introduce you to the Hartleys. First off, Bill and Shirley Hartley.
Hello.
And you have your granddaughter with us today joining us on the show. This is Jordan Augusto. And Jordan, we're glad to have you on the program.
Thank you.
We're all going to talk a little bit about Allison. And she has been at the Key Center for how long, Shirley?
Just about 6 years. I guess
6 years now.
Yes. We
Wow.
came in 2003. And she was promptly placed in the workshop, and then from there went into one of the apartments. And then as the years went by, we noticed that she needed a little more support, and 2 years ago she went into a very lovely group home. And
Excellent.
with 2 other ladies living there, and has done just beautifully, and we're just so delighted with her placement.
Now, how old is Allison?
Allison will be 39 September 1st. She always tells us she was a Labor Day baby, and she was.
Very good. Well, I know that having had her come to the Key Training Center 6 years ago, that had to be quite an emotional time for the family, right, Bill?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about Allison's early life.
Well, obviously it was a bit of a shock to find out that we had a retarded daughter, but it was a rewarding experience to help raise her. I was traveling a great deal. Shirley did most of the work, I have to say, but we had fun. Allie was a fun child, and we enjoyed her very much.
As we're talking about her today, we're watching some pictures on the screen of her growing up years and seeing how the age progresses along. 39 years old now, and with Jordan here visiting for the summer for a couple of weeks. Are you having fun with Allie too?
Yes.
Yeah? Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you do.
Well, sometimes we go outside and play, and Allie and me like to play board games sometimes.
Board games, yeah? What kind of board games do you play?
Well, I don't know.
Just some fun games, huh?
Bingo.
Bingo.
Okay. Well, okay. What has the Key Center meant to you folks and the fact that it's here and that Allie gets to participate in the activities and so forth at the Key?
Well, I'd like to say that I used to work in the field for the ARC of Palm Beach County, and I would go to statewide conventions, and Key Center would be one of the exhibits that was more or less the focus of the best programs in the state. And so when we got ready to retire and move to a different location, we came to Citrus County because I knew that's where the Key Center was. So I had this in mind a long time ago, and it has been a wonderful placement for her, and we couldn't be happier. And I'd just like to say to my husband, he thinks raising Allison was so much fun. It was very, very difficult when she was very young. She was sick a lot, she had seizures. The pediatrician told us right off the bat that she was mongoloid, and that was a great shock to us. So he was traveling, and he wasn't there when she'd have pneumonia and bronchitis and her seizures. It was very difficult, but as she has grown and matured and aged, she has become a delight, and you know, I can't imagine life without her.
Wow.
Even though it was a shock in the beginning, it's been a great reward.
Well, we're really grateful to Key Training Center for taking her on and doing the things that they do with her and for her. It's you know, it's difficult to think what would happen to Allison when we're gone if the Key Training Center hadn't taken her on and provided a good, safe, and a happy place to live,
And she
which
has
will
a life.
continue.
And she has a life now.
That's
She's
right.
not just always with her parents.
That's
She's
right.
with other young adults, and she enjoys life a lot.
That's one of the fun things, I think, for our consumers is the fact that they get to be with their peers, right?
That's
Right.
exactly
And
right.
enjoy fun activities. Tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that she does while she's at the Key.
Well, this next week she's going on a cruise with another resident in her group home and her house mother. And this will be the 3rd year she's done that, and she loves that. She has a wonderful time doing that. Otherwise, she goes bowling. She's always, she bowls with Special Olympics and with the Key bowling activity. She's very, very active at the workshop. The classes she takes, I think right now she's taking Spanish and CPR and exercise programs. She's a busy rascal.
I gather that, yes. Well, I think you touched on it a minute ago. One of the things that has to concern parents is as the child gets older and you get older, who's going to take care of, in this case, Allison, in her later years?
Right.
And how do you feel about the care she receives now and knowing what will be her life right out to the end?
We're just delighted with it because just like Shirley said, she has a life and that will continue when we're gone, and that's really great.
We have another daughter, Jordan's mother, and Jordan has a brother, a younger brother as well. And it was my goal, my daughter Liz grew up with her sister, and I did not want to burden her with having to think that she was the only person who would give Allison care after we had gone.
Right.
I didn't want to put that on the sister. So that's why Key Center is so important to us, and that we can pass on knowing that she will be well cared for the rest of her life.
One of the things that, as I've talked with parents and guardians of children, of adults who are in the Key Training Center, one of the things that they've said is, in the beginning, it's hard to turn over the care of this loved one to someone else. Is that the case?
Well, I think that's always there, but on the other hand, I believe that the earlier you do this, the less of a great transition it is. And I wanted Allison to have this break from us when she was young enough so that she could adjust. I think that if we had waited until she was very, very much older and then we passed away and she didn't have the time to transition and know that she had other caregivers, other friends that would help her through the grieving period when we do go. So for that reason, we wanted her placed early as could be. And of course, 39 is not exactly early, but with Florida's tremendous waiting list, we feel very grateful that we're able to have her here now.
Very good. For anybody out there in our audience who is acquainted with or related to a developmentally disabled person, and they're thinking about what we're going to do as we go along, and getting the care for them and the love and being with their peers and so forth, what would you say to those folks out there to encourage them to check out facilities like the Key Training Center?
I think the most important thing is for them to look into the funding sources. Allison is pretty much funded by the Medicaid waiver. I learned about this when it first became part of Florida's funding processes. If I had not known that, and I knew that because I was working for an ARC, I ran down and signed her up the minute I heard about it. There are now, I think it's 17,000 on the waiting list for that.
Wow.
Without this funding, it would have been impossible for us to have Allison here. I know that the Key Center does fund some unfunded, I guess you would say, clients, a large
Right.
number of them. Allison's funding is taken care of through the Medicaid waiver, and for that we are extremely grateful, because otherwise she might not be here. So I would say to parents, they have to look into the funding source and get on whatever waiting list they need to do. And I'd also like to say to younger parents that I've always believed that early stimulation, early infant stimulation, early childhood education does so much for the person that they should not wait for services. They need to get out right away, get those early services, and continue on. These people can continue learning. Their brains can continue to grow with stimulation and training. And my daughter is talking Spanish to me now, which is, she loves to do that, and she can still learn.
Excellent.
So, anyway, that's...
So the earlier that they can get in contact with the folks in the business,
Right.
if I can put it that way,
Yes,
the better off they are.
that's right.
And the more quickly they plug into caregivers who can assist and help out, the better off on everybody it is.
That's right, that's right.
One of the things that I wanted to mention while we had you here, Shirley does volunteer work for us. At our foundation, you help us write grants and
Yes, I try.
help get funding for some of the things that goes on at the Key
And
Center.
I call on a lot of businesses and beg for donations for a lot of things too.
Well, we really appreciate everything the family does.
I
Thank
think
you.
some of the merchants in town lock their doors when they see her
See me
coming.
coming.
Oh,
because
no.
they know she's got her hand out for Key Center, you know.
Well, she, is very pleasant to work around, and we enjoy having you here and having Allison as part of the Key Training Center.
Well, thank you, and we are very grateful to Key Center, and as part of your telethon fund drive, we'd like to present our check today to you.
Oh, wow,
Okay.
that's terrific. Well, we thank you for presenting a check as part of the telethon, and there's a lot of folks out there who are helping to, as you mentioned earlier, some of our clients are unfunded, and that's why we do a telethon, that's why we do the Run for the Money celebration, to help offset those costs that are growing every year.
You folks do a great job.
Well, thank you so much for your donation, and you can make your donation out there by picking up the phone and calling 527-2341 or toll-free 866-385-4919 and make your donation today. We have operators standing by. And to the Hartley family and to Jordan, we want to thank you for joining us on the telethon today. And let's go back to our hosts standing by the phone bank.